Greetings. Turns out, yeah, the glory of God is a tangible thing. Yep, it is a tangible thing, and it is serious, so serious that the devil is out there trying to take the glory from other people. Like, basically, your glory can be taken from you in when you are a person who actually does not realize that this is a tangible thing, and yeah, it's a thing. Get this, in this life, we are faced with a situation called karma. Now, karma turns out is not a godly ordained thing. It's more actually something that is humanly. It's actually man-made. It is man-made spiritually, but it is a real thing, just like everything else that is man-made. And this man-made thing, it follows you in throughout your incarnations. So your soul actually has a whole part of it that is involved with karma. This actually determines the kinds of life that we are born into. So some of us are born into shacks, for example. When it rains in the shack, it leaks onto the bed, and then we're gonna have to sleep on a wet bed because it rained in this shack. Some of us are born into more middle class homes where there actually is not everything's not that bad, but then we ain't got everything we might need. Then some are born with more than they might need, like born into a mansion where they live a life of not knowing lack in any way or form. So in my ponderings, I pondered why is it that some people are born into such situations if everybody's supposed to be born innocent with a clean slate. Turns out the truth is there's no such thing as a clean slate. Yeah, your past life, you actually had accumulated karma. This karma that you accumulated, it follows you throughout your lives. So the whole point of existence, or at least a human existence, is to actually work out this type of karma. Uh, Being born human, according to the Padamsambhava, the Tibetan Book of the Dead, is more rare than you think. Actually, it specifies that being born an intelligent human is more rare than you would think, meaning that if you are born an unintelligent human, which is very rare, you are amongst the ones that are less lucky, but you are lucky nonetheless. Being born human actually gives you the power to actually have choice. This choice is the most powerful gift that God has given the human being, the human experience, because literally by being able to choose what you do or where your life is going, this is actually God giving you the power to actually rectify the flaws in your karma as well. Because if your karma is bad, like for example, you are born in a shack, you still have the option to actually work your way, find a way, find a strategy, work your way from living in a shack maybe to a more middle class in a middle class income type of house. Or if you are born into a middle class income, you have the way you can work your way to eventually owning a mansion if that's what you like. But the point of the matter is this karma basically determines the lives that we are living. And when we face our karma, we sometimes don't realize that this is a test of the heart. It's literally the universe testing your heart, testing the strength of the light within, whether you can actually pass the tests that are put before you as if they are beyond you, to only realize that they are actually within your grasp. So the universe basically puts us through this test in order for us to actually surpass and move on to the next level. This is the same analogy as playing a video game where you actually go from challenge to challenge, passing each level and moving on to the next. There are many strategies that you can use to pass this, but The point of these strategies, these games that the universe plays, is actually for us to actually acknowledge that the glory is a tangible thing. The same way that the character the character that you play as in the game accumulates these things and is able to level up. This is basically the game's version of the glory. But in this reality, we have literally something called glory. And this glory turns out it actually accumulates within you whether you know it or not. If you're a person who works out, for example, you go to the gym like five to six times a week and you put in the work, we are actually going to see the muscle and be like, oh yo, this person has been putting in their time. Hey yo, this person has been building that muscle. This person is very fit. This is basically tangible proof that this is his glory. This is the glory that he affords because he put in the time. Same way there's a person who reads a lot of finance books and eventually gets his company off the ground. We are gonna be like, whoa, this person has an entrepreneurial mindset. This person actually gets the things that need to be done. This is basically how it works. This is the whole point of the glory. The glory is actually a fixed set of attributes that the person has worked upon in this lifetime or the next, in this lifetime or the previous, or should I say parallel lifetimes. But that's another story for another day. That's another story for another day. No, don't ask me about that. Anyway, the glory basically is basically how the person is able to measure how much they actually have gone through in this lifetime, how much they actually have accomplished in this lifetime. So some of us, we like go through our lives without our self-esteem actually raising, even though we are people who put in the work and actually done everything that was required to be done in order for us to actually have that self-esteem and actually raise our confidence. So I say that to say this, that the glory of God is upon you if you have put in the time to actually do so. Besides actually going to the gym and you know doing reading those books and putting all that work, if you are someone who actually has built moral integrity, moral code, moral ethics, this basically actually also accumulates in you so that people actually recognize that you actually have a higher moral standing. This why that we all know that person who is the goody two shoes, or should they say, or should I say, like the person who actually done the things to be done in order to say that this person is moral, this person is good, like to actually see a person's values by just observing them. This is the glory that is afforded within them. This whole concept of glory can also be perceived through the aura of somebody, how the person like carries themselves, and how, literally the aura, literally being able to observe the energy within the person. This energy is because throughout his lifetime they have actually dedicated a certain amount of time to certain activities. Those activities being the right activities or wrong activities, they actually help accumulate his glory. Like even a criminal, like a serial killer killing X amount of people, this person is accumulating like a false sense of glory and a negative sense of glory. But then the judge will still say, wow, you killed 123 people. Wow, you have been putting that work in, you have actually mastered this skill. This is why some people cannot even stop doing what they do, because this is literally them being addicted to that type of glory, because everybody has their type of glory, it has their type of preference in glory. I say that to say this: you as a person, as you are going through your life, you must understand that anything that you put your mind to, anything that you are accomplishing, there is a negative force or opposite force that is counteracting that. That doesn't say that you have a nemesis and you actually have to watch out for him. No, this means that whatever you are putting your mind to, whatever you are actually pursuing in your lifetime, you must actually have the understanding that you are being watched. The universe is watching you, testing your light, seeing if you, as you go through the series of tests and trials to test your light, that if you can actually proceed to the next stage. So as you go through your tests and lights, know that you, even though you feel that you're all alone, nobody sees you, nobody can tell that you do the things that you do. It does not matter if people can see it or not. The universe itself actually recognizes you. The universe itself, it actually is the one that validates you. God and the angels above are actually out there in heaven, viewing or watching over humanity, and actually noting that there are humans that are doing A, B, and C. I take this example of the book of Job, where God basically had this man named Job that he trusted so much. So much so that he allowed the devil to actually test this man through trials and errors, knowing that Job will never fall to the devil's test. So basically, the devil went up to heaven and asked God, because the devil can't just do what he wants. He's a lower being. He asked God and he's like, "Can I please tempt this man, tempt this man that you trust so much?" And God said, "You know what? I trust him so much, I'll allow it. But touch everything but his spirit. You can touch anything but his spirit." So the devil, with his short sightedness, thought that by testing the flesh, testing Job by his vanity, by all these physical characteristic type things, that he was actually gonna break him. But he did not realize, since God, the condition that God put up in order for him to be like, do not, you can touch anything, but you cannot touch his soul. This was actually the actual weakness that God overstood, that this might actually break him. So he actually left him with his ultimate strength and allowed him to be tested in all manner of ways, but except the way that could actually defeat him, because he knew that his power was not in his strength, was not in his wealth, was not in what he had done in his life, but it was within him, it was within his soul. That's why Job actually passed that test, according with flying colors, according to the Bible. And I say that to say this: the glory of God was upon him, even though he was going through that test. When he lost all his wealth and fortune, the people around him were like, "Oh my God, God has forsaken him. God has actually left this man and no longer actually trusts him with anything." But in the meanwhile, God is sitting in heaven thinking, "I'm so proud of him. He is doing great. He is resisting every temptation as it comes." So basically, God was seeing his glory even though he was at the lowest state. So what I say that to say this: the glory is a tangible thing, and the devil, the meaning negative forces, negative people, negative creatures, are actually out here to actually try and dim that glory, to try and to take that glory, because the glory is actually a thing. That's why, like, some people, when they are like on their fast, they decide to fast and they told nobody. You find these randomly, like, people be asking them, "Hey man, you hungry? Hey man, you wanna go do this? Hey man, you wanna go do this food related thing?" You know, that type of things. You be wondering, like, why are they like pestering me about the one thing that I'm trying to actually accomplish, due to the fact that it's actually the devil appearing in the form of these people, appearing in the form of these beings, trying to actually steal the glory. So we must understand this, people, that the glory is a tangible thing. If you put your mind to something and you say, "I'm not gonna do A, B, and C," or "I'm gonna do A, B, and C," make sure that you do those things because you are being tested for the next level. Just like the gamer, if he has to pass a series of tests in order to go to the next level, you must understand that it's those things that are coming into your life. Sometimes, even though it's just a thought that you think you had, you are being divinely led by heaven because heaven is above, actually watching over the things that we do, watching over our lives. Heaven is above and actually guiding our steps towards the light in order for us to overcome the circumstances that we are born under, to overcome the circumstances that we face. So you must understand that they are just testing your light. As they are testing your light, is so that it becomes stronger, not that it is tested in order to break it. It is tested to become stronger. So understand the glory is a tangible thing, and you have to protect that glory. You have to protect your glory because when the devil tests you and he actually surpasses you by you falling into temptation, he actually gets to wear your glory. He will take your glory and you will walk around be like, yeah, I tempted him. Yeah, oh, you mean that guy that I tempted into breaking his fast? Oh, you mean that guy, that girl that I tempted into becoming a prostitute? Oh yeah, I got her glory right here. He literally offers your glory to others whenever he gets the chance, just because it is a tangible thing. So you must understand the power of your glory in spirituality, and especially if you're doing spiritual art, you need to understand that that is your glory is actually not as much as in the inspiration that you need, but it is in how in your ability to produce the art. So sometimes you're even being tested so that some art is not even produced from you because you are someone who can create, someone who is creative. So guys, watch out. Your glory is a tangible thing. I love y'all.